Hello, my name is Kelly Laster, and today I am presenting my meeting for my professional learning proposal on recognizing communication challenges for students with autism spectrum disorder. I chose this topic by using the needs assessment from our class, also through numerous conversations with parents and teachers. Especially, this is usually a area where we need some troubleshooting, or we need resources in our classrooms to identify and support students that have communication challenges that are so often associated with autism spectrum disorder. So I'm just kind of running through my PowerPoint just to give you some ideas about what I'm doing. Each professional learning meeting that I'm conducting with my school will have a highlighted strategy based on the topic. So this week, this month, we're doing communication challenges and strategies. So we will be highlighting the picture exchange communication system along with some other strategies as well. So I did kind of include some rules for the discussion. I wanted it to be a discussion-based professional learning, so where we're talking a lot. So just making sure that everyone knows to be respectful, that we've all had experiences where we didn't understand myths and stereotypes associated with autism spectrum disorder. So this is a place where teachers can come, parents, and administrators, school staff can come to these meetings, and we can openly talk without being afraid of offending someone, just asking honest questions and getting honest answers and discussions. So I just wanted to set that up as a expectation for the meeting as well. So I go on and just give general information about communication. You know, as teachers, that's what we do. We communicate standards and all these directions all day long. And so for students who have communication troubles, or deficits, it's a very big challenge for them in the classroom to understand everything from the literal concepts of language, figurative concepts of language, and putting all the pieces together. And that's true not just for students with autism spectrum disorder, but your English as a second language learners, students who just have a harder time processing information, those kind of things. This kind of applies to them as well. So it's focusing on all autism, but also just an inclusive setting in general. So I started out with an icebreaker with some truth or myths. This will be used at the end of my presentation as well to help kind of assess where, what the people in the meeting have learned as well. Just kind of a ticket out the door so I can see what additional information is needed as well. So, and it just kind of highlights some common truths or myths about communication and autism. Each of the following slides just talks about communication. I embedded several videos. This particular video on this page talks about challenges for autism from the point of view of a young boy who has an autism diagnosis, and he does a very good job of explaining what his day is like as far as communication at school, in the cafeteria, what it feels like when he's frustrated or has a meltdown as well. So I've included a lot of information about eye contact, wait time is a strategy for teachers, and the power of that, just giving students a chance to process what you've asked them before they can formulate a response. I did have some exercises on social cues and reading, kind of reading the room, understanding other people's emotions, which is common for students with autism to have difficulty with. So just an exercise from a non diagnosed person to, kind of empathize with those who may struggle with this. So and then we kind of talk about it. We have time for discussion about the exercise as well. There was a very good video on meltdowns and what it feels like, explaining that they're not just a temper tantrum, that behavior is a form of communication, especially those who have deficits in being able to verbally communicate their wants and needs. So just going on, I talk about echolalia a little bit because for students that are, especially younger students beginning in school, you may experience some echolalia, and I explain what that is. My son is actually on the spectrum, and when he was younger, he actually spoke at a very, very young age. At 1.5, he was speaking in full sentences, but it was echolalia. It was, phrases from SpongeBob. It was phrases from Phineas and Ferb, and that continued for quite a while for him. My story about the picture has debt consolidation. We were at a shopping center, and he was 3 years old. He's sitting in the buggy, and the cashier at the store asked how old he was, and he asked her would she like to consolidate her debt into one easy monthly payment, which was him echoing what he had heard on a commercial. And it was kind of funny at the time, but it was definitely the beginning of his communication skills, was echoing the phrases from familiar people, from videos. So understanding that can help you bridge the gaps in communication as well, especially for younger students. Talking about assistive technology and communication systems, I chose to highlight the PECS communication system in this professional learning session because it is commonly used at our school with the picture system. So it's something that the teachers have seen but may not always understand, especially for those who are using PECS systems on computers or iPads and that kind of thing. So the next few slides just talk about what it is and how the different phases influence communication and the benefits of using it. It is research-based, so that's always great when you have an intervention that can be research-based. And it's also a great resource for English language learners or those that are hearing impaired, so not just limited for autism spectrum disorder. And give some reasons why we use it. And it also embedded a video about using this child, Clayton, uses the PECS system, and it really showed how it became his voice, and he went from having meltdowns and crying because he couldn't communicate to using his system, PECS system, to be able to communicate, and it was life-changing for him. So it was a very powerful, just a few minute video. At the end, we talk about the ticket out the door, revisiting that, giving them the participants the opportunity to just write a few sentences as well about what they've learned, what they would like to learn, so that we can revisit that. Either in between the meetings, we can kind of talk with each other, or giving some allotted time at the next meeting to address what has worked, what has not worked, what they would like to learn more about. So it can kind of be a little fluid with our meetings as well. I chose meetings that are on the first working Monday of every month. Each month had a different theme or a different topic. They last 30 minutes. Right now, they are scheduled via Zoom meeting because we're not sure about what's going to happen with distance learning in the fall. But I invited the PBIS team and the School Climate Committee team, which has a representative from each grade level. They have a special education teacher representative. They have an admin, assistant principal representing the office staff and administration. But it's also open to whoever else would like to attend. Parents, If we had teachers or just staff, lunchroom ladies, bus drivers who would like to also attend as well, they're welcome. But the PBIS team and School Climate Committee was just a good fit for representatives that could be a part of the meeting and then could go back and communicate what we've talked about with their teams. They're kind of like the team leaders for that. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to continue, these meetings face to face. I think that that's an important thing to be able to communicate. But as of now, the Zoom meeting is the way we're going to be able to do it. And I listed my references, of course. So, but I enjoyed putting this together, and I'm looking forward to teaching and becoming a resource for the teachers, staff, and parents within my school. Thank you.